Hi guys, hope you all are doing well and had a good day in the market. We start with the disclaimer as always, right? Let me pull that in. So pause it, read every single word, right? Anything and everything that we're sharing here is purely for educational purposes only, and we're a semi-registered research analyst, right? Excellent. So what did we share yesterday? Let me pull that thumbnail up, right? So this is the analysis that we did, and the expectation was to do a gap up, right? And 26101 was the level that we looked at. But looking at the structure, we were expecting wave 3 of 5 to unfold because price was bullish, so was options data, and the channel and all of that, right? But the markets had different plans, which is it gapped down and saw that strong selling, right? So the possibility that we had of wave 3 of 5 is invalidated, right? And it didn't break the level that we were looking at, which is the 26 100, right? So with that said, what next from here, right? We'll have to relook at the possibilities, and one of the possibilities that we certainly covered in during this week, right? Which is, we'll get to that when we get to the Elliott wave, right? But taking a step back, look at the price, right? Let's start with the price. Let me make this number big. I often tend to, so it's more readable. Becomes too big for me, right? So this is the candle. We've done a lower high, lower low, and close below the previous candle's low, right? Which means today's day candle is bearish, right? We had a similar candle in here, right? But as always, we don't turn bearish unless there is a follow up, right? So today is the first time that we've seen a bearish candle, and if and only when there is a follow up is when I will turn bearish, right? Otherwise, I'm happy to wait for that dip to get over, right? Typically, when I'm buy on dips, I don't sell, or I don't try to sell the high. I wait for the dip and buy it, right? But overall, why am I not interested in selling this market is this consolidation, right? Look at that. Quite a lot of whipsaws, and it's in a very tight range. If I look at this candle in here, the high of this, and I'm sorry, if I look at the high of this and this, 25 7 22 and 25 6 25 110, that's the range the market has been hovering around, right? So now from here, if anything has to evolve, bullishness or bearishness, it has to break either or, right? The question is, will we come and touch here? Possible, right? The question is this dip over and are we going to break out? Possible. But let's take dissect this through today, right? Uh, this is an area that we spoke about, right? Why is it picking? Okay, there you go. I'm picking it wrong. This is an area that we spoke about when we had the breakout, saying, there is, it will be good for a healthy dip and a retest to happen here. So the possibility of will it get a retest in here or here, they both are open, right? That's based on price because when there is a breakout, a healthy retest is what is needed or will enable the price to move further up with strength, right? Any retracement, if the market or the price is moving without any retracement, it is not healthy, right? Am I bullish here? No. Am I bearish here? No. I'm now turning over to a view where I'm neither bullish nor bearish, because for me to be bearish, I need a follow through candle, right? Remember, one such candle with low volume does not mean I'm going to change my, overall larger trend. So if I get a follow through tomorrow, is when I will turn bearish, and you'll watch the analysis, right? If there's no follow through, then I would continue to stay bullish on a long term and look for intraday bullish opportunity, because I always say it's always good to go along with the trend of the market, right, and not against, right? That's how I take trades, right? So that's that. And clearly, we spoke about this all-time high and some drama in this area, which is what has happened. Right, we're not very far away from the all-time high, and a bit of profit booking and volatility is something that can be seen here, right? We also touched on this double top possibility, which seems to have evolved today, right? So price on day is bearish. On hourly, the momentum was lethargic, right? I'm going to switch it to 75 minutes and 45 minutes, because every candle I say has a story, right? Look at the body of this candle, the widest, and after that you see every single candle. There is hardly any body, and then on top you see this volume divergence. Price is going down and so is volume. This is not a very healthy sign to go long, right? So I basically ended up waiting all day and was in no trade zone, because this is a red sign for me to short the market. Yes, if I conclusively turn the change my view to bearish, I need a rise to sell it, right? I am not going to short a falling market and a weak market, right? And for all what who knows, this was a Sensex managed expiry, right? And the price closed bullish. Everyone was bullish. The Fed came with a 25% discount. Trump tweeted that Modi is a good friend of mine. I think there is something evolving also in China, right? So it appears good things are evolving, and the big guys took that liquidity and took the markets down, right? But nonetheless, this is a dip that we had anticipated, but I was inclined more towards the bullish view, right? Um, Excellent. So price is not bullish nor bearish. Let me summarize it in that way, right? Let's moving to options data, and also this trend line is something that is broken out, right? So the question here is this a fake breakout? Is this a retest? All of that will need to be confirmed by tomorrow's market, right? The price is there, right? Excellent. So options data, no rocket science there. As on yesterday, we had 26,000 as the support, but today, look at that on 29th. As on yesterday, what we analyzed, 26,000 was a support, but look at how things changed significantly today. From 26,000 being a support, it became a resistance, right? And we are now at 25,900. So price is inconclusive while the day candle is bearish. We need a follow up. Options data is bearish with 26,000 as a resistance, right? For now. And change in OI, no rocket science there. We saw some aggressive call writing, and 25,900 is also a resistance, 25,950, and then 26,000, right? All of those. So options data is bearish, right? Now moving on to Elliott Wave. This is where things are getting extremely interesting, and I'm going to take a step back and relook at the entire possibility, right? So if you recall, this is the triangle that we looked at, right? We said either this could be a triangle with a truncated E that has gotten over in here, or this could be a wave B also, and we are unfolding C, right? So this triangle can be a wave B or wave 4, either or is open. With both the possibilities, this has to be either a wave 5 or a wave C evolving, right? So the overall trend for me still remains bullish, right? Of course, we'll have some dips like this and this in here. Now here, if I look at the bounce from here, this is clearly a 5 wave. There is, no second thought there, right? And then this becomes an ABC. From here, this again looks like clearly an impulsive wave, right? Which is this being 1, 2, I'm going to make it 3, 4, 5, right? Because there is another internal 5 wave in this 3, right? So pay attention, guys, to the students and the Elliotticians, right? So this is a 5. So I'm looking at this as wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? At a larger degree. I'm going to move this to sub millennium, right? Now, fours are always complex, right? So now let's get into 4, right? And I will remind you of the possibilities that we had, right? So pay attention. Now, if I look at 4, there are multiple possibilities, right? And what caught us was labeling this as an impulsive wave, which is this, which now looks like it is an impulsive wave, but we were labeling this. I was inclined more towards this being wave 1 alternative, wave 2 of 5, and we said this could be 1 of 5, right? 1 of 5, 1 of 5. And then here is where the markets closed. So I had 2 up till here. Now, am I invalidating this possibility? Not as yet. Why? Because wave 2 guideline, it can retrace all the way up to 99%. We are still at 78.6%, right? That's one. But am I inclined towards, am I invalidating? No. Am I inclined towards this possibility? Not as much as I am with the corrective wave, because now what am I inclined towards is this being an A, this being a B, and C unfolding, right? I'm looking at this as an ABC, or one can arguably also label this as W, a double zigzag, X is a connecting wave, a zigzag, and then we are unfolding Y. It can be an ABC or a WXY, right? In Y, if you look at this bounce today, it is convincingly bullish, which is, it is looking like an impulsive wave, right? 1, 2, I'm going to change this to, let me delete that. So that possibility is out, right? Which is this being 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let me make it to a lower degree, right? Minor and even minute, right? Now, if this is a 5 wave over, look at this ending diagonal in wave 5, right? Now, if this is an impulsive wave and or a corrective wave, we need a bounce up. Now, this bounce will define the labeling, because remember, Elliott wave is subjective and price needs to confirm it, right? So if price turns bullish tomorrow, I'm going to closely watch on this bounce. If the price moves fast enough, right, and if I see a clear impulsive wave, I'm going to turn bullish. For me to turn bullish, this is going to be very, very important level, 26,099 or 26,100, right? Or else what can happen is, from here we could be doing ABC, and then we are doing the larger wave 3 down south. So things are getting extremely tricky. Either wave 4 is over in the form of an ABC or a WXY, or the Y is ongoing, right? The maximum that Y can go is, let's say, if I look at 100% of W or A, we're talking about in here 25,710, right? That's one possibility. But price has to confirm, right? The worst is 25,604. But this bounce here is going to be very, very important for me. So uh, taking a step back to summarize, am I bullish? No. Am I bearish? No. Am I cautious? Yes, absolutely. Am I going to wait? Yes, I'm going to give the market a day's time to see what it wants to do, right? When the markets are correcting is when you have to stay cautious, right? Yesterday I was very confident. That view got invalidated, right? So now I'm going with both the views. If this is an ABC that I see, I will cautiously trade that, right? Because this formation needs some time, so I may not even trade tomorrow. But overall, I think the possibility of this bounce is high. Will I be trading that bounce? I don't think so, because I think this is going to be very, very important, because you have to let go of small fishes to catch big fish, right? So guys, that is all I had. Have a great rest of the evening, and do comment. What do you think today's move was? Was it a bear trap, or you think we're going to have a little more dip before we start to go up? Let me know, guys. Have a great rest of the evening. Cheers. Bye now.